What's going on, everyone? This is a CryptoPlanet University video, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys what exactly is Bitcoin. So let's get started. The basics. So Bitcoin is actually the first ever decentralized digital currency. There's many more of them, but Bitcoin is actually the first. Bitcoin is a currency that has no borders and can be sent from one person to another using the internet and a Bitcoin wallet, and that is all that is necessary. Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto, who proposed Bitcoin in 2009. Actually, he proposed it the day after the stock market crash. Very coincidental, but I don't think it's a coincidence. The idea was to produce a currency independent of any central authority, transferable electronically, and quickly with very low transaction fees. So right now, the transaction fees are not so low, and uh, the transaction time is also not that quick. But Bitcoin is open source code, so that could be changed and that could be forked. As long as the majority of people who are on the network agree with that solution, these sort of things can happen. Also, only 21 million bitcoins can ever exist, and this number will never increase. It is unknown exactly how many bitcoins have been lost, but the last bitcoin is expected to be created in the year 2140. And what causes bitcoins to be lost are careless mistakes like throwing away a hard drive or sending to the wrong wallet address. I actually have friends who have done things like this. That's where these examples came from. I have a friend who sent Litecoin to a Bitcoin address and he lost the Litecoin. Same thing could be done with Bitcoin. I have another friend who was mining some Bitcoin years ago. I believe he told me he mined about six of them and he believes he threw away the hard drive, never to be found again. But these are all cryptocurrencies that are just lost and they just decrease the supply, which in the long term, things like this increase the value, in my opinion, because it means there are less of them available in general. So what Bitcoin provides us with is a payment network and currency that we can control ourselves without reliance on any single governing entity to create or middleman our transactions. So we get to control our own money. So fiat versus Bitcoin, which is better? Currently, we use fiat currency. We trust the banks and governments with our money. Time and time again, they have failed us. That's evident in all the market crashes that we've had where the banks have gone down, they've gone insolvent, especially in 2008, Great Depression. And this has happened in many other countries as well, and it's happening right now in a lot of places. These banks and central authorities like governments decide how much money needs to be printed and how much should be circulated. And Bitcoin is the idea that we can control the monetary systems ourselves and transact in a much safer and more secure way, a way that is much better for us. So, who creates it? Who creates Bitcoin? There is no physical printing of Bitcoin by any bank or central authority, unlike fiat currencies. Bitcoin is created digitally through a process called mining. Those who do this are called miners, and miners use computing power in a distributed network in order to create Bitcoin and secure transactions on the Bitcoin network. So, how does this creation work? Sounds a bit complex, right? So basically, the creation of Bitcoin is based on mathematics. Miners are using their nodes to solve mathematical algorithms, which in return allows them to be rewarded in Bitcoin, which gives them an incentive to run the network. And by running the network and solving these algorithms, they are keeping the Bitcoin network secure. And you'll understand exactly how that works when you watch you watch the video about how blockchain works. Oh, and if anyone doesn't know what a node is, that could be a computer, phone, anything that is being used to mine Bitcoin. Do I have to buy a whole Bitcoin? I get this question a lot from people. The answer is no. Whole Bitcoin is very expensive and is likely to get even more expensive in the future. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You never do. You can always buy small portions of a Bitcoin. The smallest divisible amount is one Satoshi, and this is 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. And I have this Satoshi converter over here that shows you what exactly one Satoshi would look like, or 10, or 100, or 1,000, or whatever. You scroll all the way down, you get the idea. 100 million Satoshis is one Bitcoin. So who benefits from Bitcoin? A lot of people, actually. Bitcoin can bank the unbanked. There are 1.2 billion people worldwide who don't have access to banking services, and Bitcoin doesn't discriminate against them. They get full access to this system. Um, those with failing economies and fiat currencies benefit. Many countries where their economies are failing and where their currencies have become pretty much worthless over the past few years, such as Turkey and Venezuela, have seen massive inflation. And Bitcoin for these people has consistently been a better currency for the citizens of these nations. And I'm sure a lot of other different cryptocurrencies will do very well in these places as well, as people most likely won't just be using one currency. So who doesn't like Bitcoin? Bankers, for example. Bankers hate Bitcoin. Central banks hate Bitcoin. If everyone switches to digital assets such as Bitcoin, there is no need for a bank to hold fiat currency. Even digitized versions of fiat currencies don't require a bank. You could always hold a digital version of the dollar, or a digital version of the yen, or digital version of currencies that will be created in the future on a Bitcoin, on a cryptocurrency wallet. Doesn't have to be, it wouldn't be a Bitcoin wallet, but you would have a cryptocurrency wallet that would be specifically for holding your digitalized fiat currencies. Another sort of person that wouldn't like this, another group that wouldn't like this, is governments. Uh, Fiat currencies give governments control. These are currencies that they put out there, and these currencies are easy for them to tax. They have a whole system set up where they're able to tax fiat currencies that are paid for to people through paychecks, through stores, through whatever. Governments prefer fiat. It's much easier for them to use, and to switch over is very difficult. Um, I personally expect to see governments at some point race to gain the most control of Bitcoin and other important digital currencies, as it will be necessary to switch from failing fiat currencies to ones that are more advanced, such as cryptocurrency. So this little picture I have over here from Block Geeks, this explains exactly what is Bitcoin, and it explains about Bitcoin wallets, addresses, and exchanges. And I'm going to go into this right now. So Bitcoin is a decentralized network of digital currency. Transactions are made to and from 16 character encrypted addresses. So your address is where you receive Bitcoin, and if you're sending Bitcoin, you're going to send it to an address. This is a 16-character encrypted code. These addresses are mathematically secured so that nobody but the owner of the address can transfer the funds that belong to it. So you can't take money from someone else's wallet without their permission, and no one can take money from your Bitcoin wallet without your permission. And to put it simply, Bitcoin is a network of independent computers that generate, propagate, and verify monetary transactions. I explained that earlier in the video, and I'm sure you guys will get a better understanding of that in the blockchain video if you don't already understand it. The blockchain video explains how that ties in with the blockchain and how the Bitcoin blockchain really works. So before you can buy Bitcoin, you have to have a wallet. So that would usually be some sort of wallet software, or you can use an exchange and they will provide a online wallet for you. It's safer to have your own wallet software because an exchange could be hacked. And if you're going to have your own wallet software, sure, you can be hacked as well, but you need to make sure your computer is secured. You could have an offline wallet, you could have a wallet on a hard drive. You can make this very secure, or you could be careless with it and you can make it not so secure. That requires you to have a good antivirus protection software. I have one, you know, because I understand how important it is to protect your cryptocurrency. Um, but a wallet allows you to send, receive, and transfer Bitcoins. So, how do you purchase Bitcoin? So to purchase Bitcoin, you have to deposit money into an online exchange, and these exchanges will connect Bitcoin buyers and sellers. In one of our videos you can watch, we explain about the exchanges that we recommend in order to purchase Bitcoin, which is Coinbase, and we talk about and show you how to use the exchanges that we recommend to use to buy other cryptocurrencies such as altcoins. And we also talk about which exchanges we do not recommend. So we recommend you watch that. Um, Once the exchange has accepted your currency, you can place an order for Bitcoin similar to the way you would buy a stock. One of the main differences is that you can trade back and forth without any sort of uh, someone telling you what you have to do with your money. A lot of times, if you trade on an app like Robinhood and you're trading stocks, they're going to tell you, "Oh, you can't trade this many times in a day." And then they'll ban you for a certain amount of time if you trade too much, and that's a big issue. And that's something that we don't have a problem with on cryptocurrency exchanges right now. So these are just some important quotes before I wrap this up that really shows me where I think that Bitcoin is going to be going in the future and where I think cryptocurrencies in general are going to be heading. And it's in a positive direction. So on the left, we have Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'll put a link to a free SoundCloud audiobook for this. I think it's a great book, and this guy is a great investor. He is a really intelligent person. He knows a lot about what he's talking about. He was buying gold back during the Vietnam War when gold was actually illegal. He was actually in the American army, and he was actually buying gold from the Vietnamese army at the time as well, Vietnamese soldiers he was purchasing from. So he's talking about how he believes the dollar is a scam because gold and silver and cryptocurrency are going to take it out. On the right, on the top, this is John McAfee. John McAfee is the creator of McAfee antivirus software. He's also another very smart person. He's been in the cryptocurrency space for a while. He understands code, he understands coding, programming, excuse me, very well. And he has some predictions that a lot of people think are crazy about cryptocurrency. But I don't believe that he is wrong. I believe that he is probably right about Bitcoin hitting $1 million by December 31st, 2020. I can see that because of inflation, about everything that's going wrong with the government right now and everything that's happening in the world. And I see that something that would cause this is probably a government's race in order to purchase cryptocurrency before everyone else does, before some other government does. I think one government is probably going to start it, and then everyone else will follow. Possibly the Chinese, who knows? And then underneath that, we have John Donahoe. Donahoe, I don't know how to say it, not really sure. Who's the CEO of eBay? And here he is saying digital currency is going to be a very powerful thing. So someone like this who is saying this, who has control of such a large marketplace, is probably going to want to accept digital currency at some point because they realize how important that could be on their platform. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see that within the next 6 months, 12 months. Hopefully not longer than that. I highly doubt it. I'm sure people like him would like to get as much cryptocurrency as possible right now while it's cheap. That's how the rich stay richer. They buy at the bottom of bubbles, and then they change our minds about how we feel about. They change our negative views on things that are so down because they have the control to do so and they have the money to do so. And I believe that's what people like these guys and many more will end up doing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I recommend you watch the next one where we talk about where you can buy Bitcoin. Take care, guys.